Tennis is a pretty varied sport, consisting of several techniques players can use to win the match. In this video though, we'll be talking about one technique, the serve. Not many people understand the importance of the serve, but it can make or break the game. It has evolved over the years, with the most recent addition being the controversial underarm serve that is such a crowd pleaser. Let's find out about the most iconic serves of all time and what exactly makes them so legendary. But first, what is it that makes a serve unbelievable? As a tennis player, you spend years training to compete in the rigorous tournament season. Like when you have Novak Djokovic's unmatched stamina to compete with, you really have to step up your game. And serving isn't all that's there to a tennis match. There's backhands and fronthands and lots of other aspects that players need to perfect. Yet, over the period of time, it is the players with the best serves that have become household names. So what is it that players need to keep in mind for a good serve? Whilst most of the iconic serves in history are the fastest ones, speed isn't all that you need. The first thing that you need for a good serve is power. Power is what leads to speed, and it is because of that power that you can really get under your opponent's skin by surprising them with a quick serve so that they have very little time to react and respond to your service. This kind of serve takes years to master and requires intense athletic training. Next on our list is a well-placed serve. As we know, in tennis you can only serve diagonally, which means that you really only have half the court to maneuver. Apart from that, you have to be extra accurate so that the ball lands exactly where you intend it to land. Now, add some spin to the ball and you've got yourself a serve that's near impossible to return. And there isn't just one type of spin that you can add to the ball either, which means that your opponent will never truly know what's coming their way. Next up, we have deception. This is probably the most important one. As a tennis player, you can't just serve in the same place with the same technique every single time, because then you become predictable and your opponent knows exactly how to bring you down. Just like poker, nobody should know your next move in tennis. Now, deception is tricky because it involves combining power placement and spin to your advantage. Top serves. First on the list is Ivo Karlovic. There's no one better to start off this list. Karlovic has become a household name because of the multiple records he still possesses, and most of them are related to serving. Nicknamed the Serve Doctor, he has the record for the most aces served in his career. The number for this are going to amaze you. Over the course of 690 matches, Karlovic served 13,653 aces. That's 20 aces per match. Amazing, right? While his average serve speed is 140 miles per hour, at one point he held the record for the fastest serve at a staggering 156 miles per hour, a record that was broken by the next person on this list, John Isner. Next up we have John Isner. Isner holds the record for the fastest serve at 157.2 miles per hour, which he achieved at the 2016 Davis Cup. Isner is second only to Karlovic on the list of most career aces with a staggering 12,475 ace hits. Having another cool nickname, Big John, his serve has been termed as one of the most difficult to return. This is because it has an insanely high bounce and is delivered with such large amounts of topspin that only a very well-seasoned player could possibly return a serve like that, like we talked about before. In tennis, you need deception and speed, but Isner, like Karlovic, also has consistency. They usually prefer to serve about 130 miles per hour and will add a combination of spin and placement along with speed to truly hit the serve home. Next, there's Roger Federer. We knew when we made this list that Roger Federer would be making an appearance sooner or later. Perhaps not the fastest name on this list, he certainly is one of the most skilled ones. His insane placement and accuracy has earned him the third place in the most career aces list, but his best weapon is how easily he's able to deceive his opponents. Federer is the one player whose next move absolutely nobody can predict. Not the tallest of the people on this list, it's even more impressive how he can use his eye-opening accuracy to his advantage to make up for his lack of sheer pace. We think there's nobody who can deny that Federer will be a part of this list for decades to come, not just because of his serve, but because he has really proven himself to be one of the most skilled tennis players of all time. Although he is on hiatus from this year's Wimbledon and upcoming tournaments, fans continue to show their love and support for this absolute ace. No pun intended. After that, we have Goran Ivanisevic. One of the most famous left-handed players on this list, Ivanisevic is a legend because of his insane speed and power. His technique of hitting the ball on the rise while serving is legendary because it never gave his opponents enough time to compose themselves and react to his serve. Having a natural offense style, Goran would mostly be on the attack, taking control of the game point and playing the match on his own terms. When you have someone like Goran Ivanisevic with his impressive speed and attacking style against you, of course you'd feel threatened and anxious while playing the game. And this is probably why he's made this list, because he's always came out on top, at least when it came to serving. Next, Andy Roddick. We notice how the tennis world is really fond of nicknames, and A-Rod is no exception. Andy Roddick held the record for the fastest serve in the world at 155 miles per hour for a period of time, and he's made a name for himself for thinking out of the box and doing things his own way. For example, his serve is one of the most unusual things about him because of the sheer pace he is able to use with the same amount of consistency, even if he's playing a 4-hour-long 5-set match. His unmatched stamina combined with his aggressive style meant that he was always in control of the match. He would use a combination of skill and tactic to force his opponents into making mistakes. And the best part is, most of these mistakes were were as a direct result of his unreturnable serves. Next up, we have Pete Sampras. Another nickname. Pistol Pete Sampras is perhaps one of the most famous servers of his time, but he was known for his pistol-sharp accuracy. Explains the nickname, doesn't it? He was known for to be able to silence any crowd by serving large. His cool demeanor combined with his aggression and consistency meant that the 14-time Grand Slam winner could hit winners almost every single time, hitting upwards of 135 miles per hour in almost every serve. We think it's safe to say that Pistol Pete won't be exiting this list anytime soon. After that, we have Sam Groth. Entering the tennis records in 2012 in a rather unconventional way, Groth holds the title for the fastest unofficial serve, which is achieved at a challenger tournament in Busan at 163.4 miles per hour. Now that's really impressive, showing great strength and skill. Although he hasn't been able to make a name for himself in the ATP rankings, we think it would be justified to consider him as one of the underrated yet skilled players in the game. Last but certainly not least, Nick Kyrgios. After this recent Wimbledon victory in the semifinals, Kyrgios is fast becoming everyone's favorite, although he's not the most well-liked due to his sense of style and straightforward attitude. But who cares about that when he serves upwards of 140 miles per hour almost every time, right? Kyrgios is the master of disguise, using the controversial underarm serve to keep things a little unpredictable. He is also fast climbing up the rankings despite being one of the newest players on the scene. Now let's take a look at the women. First, we have Serena Williams. We think everyone expected to see Williams on this list, who has one of the most dominant and recognizable serves in history, hitting above 120 miles per hour almost every single time. She's at number 3 on the fastest serves list after her sister Venus and Sabina Lisicki. The 23-time Grand Slam winner has a classic aggressive game combined with consistency and accuracy, which has allowed her to make such a name for herself in the game. Last, Georgina Garcia Perez. Although not an official record, Georgina Garcia Perez has made the list for hitting the fastest serve in the women's game. This took place in the Hungarian Open in 2018, with the serve speed being recorded at 136.7 miles per hour. It's a shame that it isn't an official record because Sabina Lisicki's #1 official record is only 131 miles per hour. No worries though, because Perez is still regarded as one of the most iconic and skilled servers of all time. That's a wrap for this video. What did you think about this impressive and historical serves? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!